Mr. Kuehn, same question. Like many schools, Hamilton County schools struggle to recruit and retain qualified teachers. What specific steps would you take to address that?
Well, first I'll give you the data. So at the beginning of the year, we had 99% of the positions filled. It's the highest that Hamilton County has had in their history. As far as retaining that, the retaining numbers are 94% for experienced teachers, and the one that really hits is 88% of 1 to 3 year teachers. That's where we need to make the effort because we're losing teachers within the first 3 years that they're teaching. We need to, and money isn't the answer to everything, but it is important, especially when Bradley County is paying more and North Georgia is paying more. So we try to give a better benefits package, especially with retirement, TCRS. But the other thing that we need to do, and I will agree with Mr. Walker, we need to show value to the teachers. Duty-free lunch, duty-free, especially duty-free planning time. That's the one thing. Mr. Massengale was present at Central when I met with the faculties and asked them what they felt would show value. The other things are smaller class sizes, which we need to address. The state has gone up in numbers, allowing larger classes, but that does not mean that we have to go by that if we can find a way to do that. So there's some positions that maybe are not needed, and we can convert those back into teaching positions. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm going to say something Mr. Walker and I were just discussing. You're asking the same person each time. It would be fair for everybody to reverse it sometimes and ask the other candidate. Thank you.
Ms. Christian-Lowe.
Okay, we're not going to rotate?
Yeah, we all agreed on the rules and procedure beforehand, so I will not be changing anything now.
I would like to consensus on candidates. I think that was a fair thing.
Everyone's getting the same questions, right?
Just we can alter it so that Dr. Allen has one first.
Sure, Mr. Highlander. Do you support the Commission's recent vote to drop out of the countywide regional planning agency? Why or why not?
I do. I've been closely involved with that. I do not disparage the people that are in there. 80% of the planning that we do is done for the city of Chattanooga. And the RPA, the Regional Planning Agency, has put 80% of their effort into that. We are now having a group, and we've got a 3-month time period to get the new group, the new regional planning for the county only in there. I think that our county needs are quite different from the city. You have, I spoke to a gentleman when I first came in that talked about this area losing its identity. And we don't want 10-story apartment buildings out here. Our roads will not cover it, our sewers will not cover it. We need a special plan that is significantly different from the city of Chattanooga. Now, I appreciate and respect the people who are on the RPA now. I had a meeting with them today, and several of them are involved with the MPO that I'm vice chair of, and we work closely with them. But it is, and I explained to them, I'm not against you, but we have different needs, and we need to have a different implementation of the plan for the counties. And I think it's very important. I voted for that, and I support it. But that's not saying we need to be mean-spirited toward them. We need to work together with them. But yet, on the other hand, I think it's very important that the county have its own planning area. One thing that I did insist on is that they have trained planners and they be certified. And I want to check. We have none right now, but there are 2 people on the county staff who are now going through training to be fully certified. And I think it's very important that we have certified trainers that can come in and know exactly what they're supposed to be doing. And I appreciate the question, but I need support of that. Thank you very much.
Ms. Christian-Lowe, same question.
Thank you. And I'm going to say I agree with a lot of what you said, what the commissioner said, but I think what I would have done ahead of time. And first of all, I do believe that we are forgotten. I think when you're having 80% of a planning commission focused on the city, that's a challenge for the county. I agree with that. But what I would have done ahead of time is set that up and establish that planning committee beforehand. Let us know who they are, because my only concern is conflict of interest. My only concern, are they certified? Are they actually bona fide qualified people in this role? So do I agree with it? It's kind of a moot point now because it's done. What I would have went for and asked for is, let's establish a Hamilton County Planning Commission committee that is, we know who the people are before we just vote on it. Does that make sense? We don't want to just vote for something and then we'll figure out who fills the seats. So I am going to be a great partner at the seat with the Planning Committee of Hamilton County, but also we need to make sure we have protocols in place for conflict of interest, to recuse yourself from a role should there present an issue that you should not be sitting there or even being a part of the commission, the regional planning commissions.
Thank you, ma'am. I'd like to stay with you for a moment, if I may, because you hit on something I was headed to next.
Sure.
How would you convince commissioners in the district that may primarily be in the city to support projects in District 9?
Well, people do business with those they know, like, and trust. So the first thing I would do is make sure I know who I'm talking with, build a relationship with them. It's not something you can do over time. But how do you convince people? You give them a compelling story. So I would do this with everything. Give them the compelling story. Give me the last part of that question again. Sorry. Thank you.
How would you support projects that are in the city financed mainly in District 9? Yeah, commissioners that are in the city to support projects that are mainly in District 9.
Will you read it again? That was kind of choppy.
Yes,
Sorry. It's okay. It's okay.
How would you convince commissioners in districts that are primarily in the city to finance things in District 9?
Well, I think you're going to serve as a voice for the people. So bring the projects, bring what's imperative to the people, and talk with my counterparts that are in the city. Is that what you're asking? How would I convince my fellow commissioners?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I would convince them simply by presenting the business case. Whatever that case is, present it to them, give them the facts, show them what we need, why we need it. There's not really a lot of anything else except presenting your case to the people. As the commissioner said earlier, it takes 6 people. So I know that's what I need. I need to partner with them, but also understand their needs. It is about District 9, but what is it you need so that we can work together? So present the case, a business case, and then work with my counterparts, which I have done my entire career, brought opposition together, brought people together who don't agree. So convincing people, I don't know if it's so much convincing as much as it is presenting the business case of District 9.
May I have a brief rebuttal on the statement where I was mentioned?
Yes, sir.
In the previous question. One thing, I agree with what she said, that we should have prior knowledge before this planning commission came in. The mayor has the authority and the power to bring things to us, and we are strongly encouraging him to let us know ahead of time. And he does a good job of what he's doing, but yet on the other hand, we need to be made aware of what he's doing beforehand. And I agree that we don't like to do it, but we don't have the power to bring it up ourselves. Always, sometimes he brings it up and we have to vote it up or down. Could you repeat the question that you gave her for me, please?
Yes, sir. How would you convince county commissioners in districts that are primarily in the city to finance things in District 9?
Very good question. One thing that I have done is not just talk to them about it. I have offered, I will take you to lunch, I will drive you up and down the roads. And I have done that with a couple of them have taken me up, 2 of them have. 4 of the 11 commissioners are totally in the city of Chattanooga. 2 more have the majority of their land in the city of Chattanooga. So you're talking about a majority of the people there, and we have to agree, we have to work to convince them. And what I've tried to do, especially on the roads, I've taken 2 of them and have taken me up, I bought them lunch, And I said, we're not discussing anything we're voting, we're not breaking the sunshine law, but I want you to see this road. I took one down Eldridge Road where they're trying to put a major subdivision off Birchwood Pike. And when I taught at Birchwood School years ago, I took kids home there. I took my big truck across that bridge, and I'm not easily frightened, but I was a little worried that bridge would go down. And now they're wanting to put homes in there. And so I took one of the guys out there, and he said, oh my gosh. And so I'm trying to get people to understand by actually showing them. I know Sweetbriar had a horrible traffic situation. The turnaround on Snow Hill Road, it was horrible. I talked to people, I talked to them, and finally, I got Todd Lakin, the county engineer. I think he got tired of hearing my phone calls and said, Todd, please drive that. I've seen 2 near head-on collisions on Snow Hill Road at Sweetbriar. And so finally he said, I promise you, Dr. Highlander, I will do it tonight, this evening. So he did, and he said, you're right, it's got to be changed. I think it's practically showing them. I want to take them to Serenity Lane before that vote comes up there. I've not been getting any of them to come yet, but I'm trying to. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Moving back to the school board, we have a couple audience questions, same topic as one of our other questions, so I will ask both of them, one as a follow-up. Mr. Kuehn, what role do you think the school board should play in ensuring students have access to adequate counseling and mental health support? And as a follow-up, would you or do you support going back to in-school counseling services, considering certain things such as the out-of-school ones or after hours that may cause transportation issues for parents?
So, our job is to educate kids. That's our number one role. We had a vote that led to a much better product than we did have with regards to mental health and counseling. And I will tell you where I stand on that, and I truly believe it, because I did my background research. Students were being pulled out of classes. Students were being pulled out of graded, tested classes to receive counseling. And that did not sit well with me. So my vote to get a yes vote on the mental health counseling services was very straightforward. It would not be done during class time. And I hesitate to even have it on school grounds. And I will say this, one of the organizations, I'm not going to mention them, kept on mentioning that they were a free service. They are not free. They charge TennCare. Taxpayers pay the TennCare bill. So that is not a true statement that they were giving. But again, we wanted to have a better product for parents to choose. We ended up with 5 different mental health care organizations that were accepted, and as long as it's not done during tested courses, then students can receive counseling.
Thank you. Mr. Walker, same questions. What role do you think the school board should play in ensuring students have access to adequate counseling and mental health support? And follow-up, would you support mental health counseling on-site in schools to address issues some parents may have with transportation?
As Mr. Kuehn said, we're in the education business. Hamilton County has set aside at the Department of Education $24 million for counselors, support coaches, seed coach, there's some different names, but $24 million, give or take, already out there. The company and everybody talking about the organization, like Gary said, they built it, my number's off, they built Tennesseans $180 million as they came into our schools, and in my words, fishing for patients. We already have staff members that can help. We have educated teachers, we have educated administrators. If a young person is having some issues, we know they can go up there and put their arm around them. Let's try to help out. You got to communicate with the parents and do everything we can to help that child get what they need. But it is not a function of the schools. It's no different than, you know, I asked in a meeting and somebody laughed at me, should we have a dentist at every school? Should we have an orthopedist at every school? Should we have an OBGYN at every school? I love our students and I want them to, I didn't have the greatest childhood growing up. Miss Hay at this elementary school right here still stays in touch with me today. She knew what was going on and somehow just loved us through it. And I know it's not that simple sometimes, but we need to let our teachers be teachers, identify need if somebody needs something, and then absolutely, hey, we've talked to the school counselor, we've talked to the teachers, here's some outside agencies that we could ask you to reach out to. I want them to have every resource they can, but it is not that outside agencies have no business in Hamilton County Department of Education.
Could I say one thing since I was?
Yes, yes.
And I will say this, I have a granddaughter with dyslexia, 9 years old. If for some reason she needed counseling and they pulled her even out of her music class or her PE class or one of those courses, that would affect her mental health and her enjoyment for school. So even pulling students out of those classes, the arts and that is not acceptable.
Thank you. Getting back to County Commission side, Mr. Highlander, how would you save the business incubator and as a follow-up, and give those businesses another home to which to operate?
Well, that's a $64 question. I have been in the business incubator. They have done a good job for a lot of people, and I appreciate what they've done. There's several small businesses that have come out of it, and I think it's good that we encourage small businesses. That building is in atrocious shape. Someone said, well, you let it get that way. Well, it has. It took place over many, many years that building has deteriorated. But it is not in good shape. It's costing millions of dollars, about $2 million a year to try and keep it up. And it's very expensive. The mayor has come up with a plan. We haven't voted on it yet, for sure, but he's come up with a plan to put it in the old Blue Cross Blue Shield building in Gateway and have it separated. One of my concerns as a former educator is that we have adults running businesses in the same building with children, but I've been assured that it will be totally separated, other than some of the future ready people who will be doing internships there. I'm still looking to see if we have enough square footage in that building to do it. If we do, it's in much, much better shape than the current building that we're using. Now, some of the people have been in there as long as 7 or 8 years. That plan is for them to be in there 3 years, possibly 4, and some of them have been there for 7. Now, they need to follow a plan. They need some financial counseling. They need some grooming from other people. And I'm still unsure because I want to be sure we have a sufficient amount of space to meet their needs. I want to meet their needs, but that building I don't think can do it long term. Thank you very much.
Ms. Christian-Lowe, same question. How would you save the business incubator?
Well, one part I would agree with is that I don't know that answer, but what I will go back to, I'm going to go back a little bit. I am someone who's been in the incubator, and I know the value of the incubator. I've been in the incubator for many years. As we opened a new division, we went through the incubator. Now, 3 to 4 years, when you're talking small business, that's fast. 6 or 7 years, some of those businesses are still there because it is their livelihood, it is their lifeline. So how would I save it? I do not know that answer. What I will say is I'm looking into it as well because I believe it's absolutely worth saving. Now, I'm not totally against moving it, but I think you have to have a plan before you do that. I don't know that Blue Cross is that plan. Now, I've actually made several calls to individuals to find out what would you do. So, a couple of things. What I would do is offer, and I've actually said this as one of my focuses. I think Highway 58, I spoke to 2 major owners of properties in the area. We could bring a small business satellite incubator resource center to this area. That doesn't solve the incubator, but I want to do that here. We need that because the resources available through a small business incubator are critically important, not just to the businesses there, but to their livelihoods and also to the community. So I would love to see it saved. I will agree, the reason the mayor's looking at changing it, the infrastructure of the building, it's not good. The elevators are not good. So it's not a definitive answer for me on this. What I would say is I'll find the answer. I'm going to do my homework, but I wish we could save it. I don't know that Blue Cross is the answer. Even from some of the businesses that are being housed there, I don't know that Blue Cross has the infrastructure to house those businesses. And I'm not very fond of kids and businesses. So in closing on this question, I would like to find out more. It is a very recent development. I would like to see our district have a satellite resource and incubator itself. But I also want to make sure the people in the incubator know we're not just putting you to the wayside. We're doing our homework.
Thank you. For the school board, Mr. Walker, we have two similar audience questions here. If elected, would you commit to holding regular monthly town halls where residents can ask you questions, or conversely, publicize meetings and agendas so that residents could decide which meetings that they should attend?
Yeah, I think that's vital. I think this building right here makes the most sense for our district to come out or to go up to Harrison Bay and talk. The turnout tonight has been advertised for this meeting, and I don't know how you get people to come out, but you absolutely have to be available. My phone number was always out there when I served for that year on the board, and it would ring quite often. But the school board post everything that's going to be discussed in our meetings. I think that's available for people. I don't know what the turn rate or the people visiting that and looking for those notes and agendas, but absolutely we need to make that available and really sit down and talk. And if it's a dozen people that show up in the community, then we've done something. But I'd love to have a larger group show up for meetings like this and for any type of gatherings when we're talking about education. But absolutely be available, consistent, once a month, once a quarter, but let it be a consistent meeting that they know when to show up.
Thank you. Mr. Kuehn, if elected, would you commit to holding regular monthly town halls where residents could ask you questions? Or I know Mr. Walker pointed out that the school boards post meeting agendas ahead of time.
Right, and we've actually tried to hold community forums. All four people sitting here were at our last community forum. We had a total of 24 there. It had been advertised for 2 weeks on Facebook, the school board website, the county commission website. A monthly meeting would be fine. The idea behind it would need to, where I think we will get more people, and probably not the same people, is to each month do it at a different school, so that we're hitting every school in our district, so that people that are used to coming to that area will do so. But yes, if not every month, then at least every other month.
Is it possible for the commissioners to answer that question?
Absolutely. These were submitted to vote.
Okay.
Candidates.
Okay. Does he go first or me?
And just as a note, we will ask for closing remarks after this, but both of you can answer this question.
All right. Would you like to go first? Okay. So this is a question that I love because you have to meet people where they are. And I know that just from my 25 plus years of meeting people where they are. That's from the ball fields of parents that didn't have the money to put their kids through the rec league, or to the executives of Volkswagen helping to secure contracts to employ people. So I love a monthly, but I want to go back to the commission meetings. I think meetings are important, and we've brought that back to 2 a month. So in terms of meeting monthly, I think we go back to 4 meetings a month for the commissioner meetings, and accessibility is important. I'm a 9 to 5 person, 8 to 5, 7 to 5. I can't make a 5 o'clock meeting. So I would like to see that go back to 4 meetings. I would like to see us go to 5:30 or 6, because that helps the working parents, but it also helps the seniors who are retired or people that just want to get in bed early. But meeting, I think we meet people where they are. When you talk about live streaming, a lot of our seniors in Birchwood do not do that. They get an email. So I would like to propose something weekly. I think we have to do updates, text updates, email updates, not overwhelming, but also access and visibility. So for me, I think it would be important that we have a monthly meeting, but I'm that kind of person that's open to more than that. So meet people where they are, monthly, absolutely, but what technique or what method do you need in order to get the information that's imperative to you to be informed? Because I think that's a gap that we see. So I love that question, whoever presented that.
Same question. Would you repeat it, please?
Yes, actually, it's more of, would you, if re-elected, would you commit to holding regular monthly town halls where residents can plan to come ask you questions, or offer another way to sort of engage, let the public engage directly with what you're talking about on the agenda?
Yeah, I'm very open to that. I've had several community meetings. I've had Wallace Smith School, I've had Hunter School, I've had Snow Hill. And so I would be very open to that. Let me explain. I did vote for the evenings. There were several of the commissioners that wanted to keep them in the mornings. I did vote to have them in the afternoon. I voted for the initial at 4 o'clock, and then the proposal was made to go to 5, and I agreed with that. I would have been open every week. I'm retired. I do not mind meeting in the evenings every week. It wouldn't bother me at all. Some of the commissioners work full-time jobs, and they did not want to do that. So they proposed to do it 5 o'clock, and we have if you're familiar with the way it's set up, is we have a voting session first, and then we have an agenda session. So there are actually 2 meetings every Wednesday that we meet, which is every other twice a month. I'm not real crazy about that. We got out almost 9:30 the last meeting we had. I got there for budget session at 3 o'clock, and 6.5 hours of sitting in that dais, it's hard to stay focused. I was able to do it, but I'm a coffee drinker, so I drank coffee the whole time and I stayed focused. But some people I felt like were not, and some people had to leave and go do their jobs. But I would be open to having shorter meetings, and 4 times a week would be fine with me. But, and also I would be open to having community meetings. Now, I think what Mr. Kuehn said, I think it's one of them, I'm not sure which, said go from school to school, having it in different areas. And I like that idea very much. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now begin the closing remarks section. Each of you will have 2 minutes to close things out. We begin intros with Ms. Christian-Lowe. So we will begin the closing remarks with Mr. Kuehn.
Well, first, thank you for having this, and thank you all for attending. We know lives are busy, and I know there's a lot of things you could be doing, so thank you for coming and listening to this. A school board position is, and I've said this before, it's not just that Thursday night from 4:30 to 6, meeting and talking, and then from 6 to 7:30, voting on the different items. It's a position that involves service to not just students and parents, but also your teachers. It's a position that involves going to after-school events, but also during school events. Literacy Day, Read Across America Day, the judging science projects to see who's gonna represent that school in a science fair. It involves a lot of time and a lot of really, I say, enjoyable areas that you have to be willing to do because being a school board representative is about being a visual and visible person in your community. It is a community service position. And I humbly ask if any of you are in District 9 for your vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. Everybody's from District 9 here, aren't they? We open it up for all of them. Thank you for being here, Gary. friends over here on the other side, thank y'all for being here. We come out here, don't know what we're gonna face sometimes or what questions we're gonna get, but I think there's 4 people on this stage up here that are open and honest and want to give you their best from their heart and their service. So I believe the school board is a community seat. You can be a voice of the community. If you have another job, if you have other things that you are doing. Most of the time when I was on the school board, it was those evening calls when parents were off from work. You got to be more visible and be out there through the day. And we'll work towards those things. If I'm elected, we'll be able to get out there. But being able to have that communication line to reach out when somebody really needs help and voice, and that's what I think I'm really good at. School board and county commission, 2 most important positions in our community. We got to get up from this meeting. Y'all got to get out and go talk to your friends about what we saw tonight, what we talked about tonight, whichever candidate you liked on either table. We've got to get that momentum going. We've got to bring local community support to these seats, not just getting on Facebook tomorrow and complaining about something. Come out to a meeting, support your local candidates and support your local leaders that are already in those positions. And I appreciate everything that you've done and what you've done, Commissioner Highlander. And just May 5th, if you like what you see, we'll hang around for a little bit afterwards. I think maybe that's part of what we're doing. But if you have any questions for me, we'll be here. And just thank y'all for turning out tonight. Look forward to your support May the 5th.
Thank you, and Mr. Highlander?
Thank you very much. Let me start out saying, if you've got a pencil and paper there, my phone number is 423-838-2065. That's my personal cell phone. I didn't put a commission cell phone out. I put my personal cell phone out. You can text me or call me. And I try to answer all calls. I truly do. To me, both of these roles, school board and commission, is a servant's role. We have to serve the people of our community, and that's what I've tried to do. My dad was a minister. He and mom were missionaries at one time. I came up with that as my upbringing. My sisters are both nurses. One's a nurse practitioner, still practicing. My brother's a teacher, and he's recently retired. I think I have grown up trying to serve the community. I did that as a school teacher. I did it as a part-time minister, and I want to continue to do that. And there are some times when I'm not real sure about which kind of vote I need to do on a certain issue. So I try to reach out to the community, different people, different ideas. And if I'm not sure how, I listen to what the people say. And I think I need to reflect in my voting what they want, not what special interest groups do. I have really pushed against some of the overbuilding that we've had in our community. And some of the builders, not all, I have some friends that are realtors and friends that are home builders. But some of them think you're not builder friendly. I am for being builder friendly if we have the infrastructure needs for it, not when we don't. And so that's why I tried to get a moratorium on Hunter Road, and it did not get a single vote. I couldn't get a second for it 2 years ago. Then when Signal Mountain had the issue and they saw the problem, then Commissioner Baker said, I'm sorry, I should have backed you up on that. I see now that. But thank you very much.
Thank you. I want to say thank you to Commissioner Highlander for what you've done in the role. We've known each other for at least 20 years, I think. So thank you. Since I was 2, thank you. Yes, so thank you to everyone here. Thank you to all in Chattanooga. You've done a phenomenal job. This is not easy, and I think our community needs more platforms that are like this, where candidates actually feel safe coming in, because this can be a hard job. So, raised in Hickson, Tennessee, DuPont Elementary School, all the way to Saudi Daisy High School, I am a product of our community. I also want to say that my 25 plus years experience in human resources and business, all I've known is in HR, every day we forsake the thoughts and opinions of ourselves for those we serve in front of us. That's all I know. I know to serve all people from all backgrounds. No special interest groups. I'm not for this crazy development and this crazy growth that we're experiencing. I am for smart growth. I am for community growth. Our community needs to have a say in it. My experience in bringing those things to the table, the people that are opposing each other, That's what I've done my entire career, from large industries to small businesses. So I also want to say that when you're a voice for the people, you are the voice of the people. So being a voice for the people means you forsake your own thoughts and ideas when it comes to the decisions. You come with an idea of what you want, you come with your own position. But I know that if I'm in this role, I'm going to continue doing what I've always done. Also, I want to say that when it comes to workforce and budgets, we need to look at those items. We haven't really done that in this district. I want to look more into workforce and into the job market. April 15th through the 30th is early voting. May 5th, I would be humbled and honored to have your vote and to serve you District 9.
Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Thank you to our candidates. We encourage you to go out in the foyer and mingle with the candidates, talk to them, ask questions that we didn't have an opportunity to ask. This stage is going to be used at 7 o'clock, so we want to be respectful and make sure that we get it set back up the way it was. But thank you all for being here again. Thanks to our moderators, thanks to our candidates. We really, really appreciate it, and especially thanks to the community that showed up, because it's incredibly